right, and welcome out everyone to tonight's webinar. This is Coach Frank. Great to see you. Hope you're doing well. Had a nice weekend. Should have my screen up here. Just going to take you through the tackle trading site, give you a better idea of what we're doing here, when we're doing it, where you can find it, all of that fun stuff. So I'll be walking you through here this evening. As we're moving along, if you have any questions, do feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. I break tackle trading into three core areas when I'm explaining it to people. Things that you can do on your own, such as courses, blogs, scanning, things of that nature. Our live content, our live daily and weekly shows, our coaches show, our traders lounge, and so on and so forth. And lastly, our weekend reports, our stock options report, our tackle newsletter, our commodities, and our Forex reports. So we'll kind of break it into those three core areas and take it one at a time. Let's kind of start with the first there. Things that we can do on our own time, at our own pace, at our own skill set, however you want to look at it. Of course, the courses are at least the first thing that come to my mind when I think about this type of stuff. We do have several courses here available to our pro members at Tackle Trading. We have the 7-Step Guide to Trading, which is a short course, about 2 hours long. I'm going to hop over into this page. It's a really good place to start, whether you're a new trader or a veteran trader. Might be able to give you some ideas of what this process looks like and how we kind of approach it over here at Tackle Trading, from starting at the top of the market into choosing our strategy, finding our trades, prepping our trades, placing and ultimately managing and journaling our trades. Kind of takes you through the process. If you're really new to trading, it really should help give you kind of a blueprint to kind of get a little focus going. If you're a vet, maybe you can steal an idea or two out of there that can make your already existing process a little bit smoother as well. Beyond the 7-Step Guide to Trading course, we have, of course, a Technical Analysis 101. Charting is so important to traders. No matter what kind of trading you do, day trading, swing trading, option trading, Forex trading, you name it, you're going to use technical analysis. And the stronger our skill set in technical analysis is, the better, all right? This Technical Analysis 101 course should really help you hone those skills when it comes to reading charts, identifying trends and reversals and patterns and all of that good stuff. Certainly the place I would, I'd start with the 7-Step Guide to Trading, but beyond that, I would definitely kind of make that a priority. Charting is just so very, very important to us. In addition to the course itself on Technical Analysis 101, if you hop over into the shows tab, into the Tackle 100 series live webinars, in here you'll find a few different recorded webinars that we've done. Most notably, at least for right now, you will find the Technical Analysis 101 course that Coach Noah taught live to our team a little while back now, just taking folks through the concepts in that course. Another great way to kind of hone those technical analysis skills. This is a 2-parter. Each of these webinars is around 2 hours, so it's about 4 hours in total. Definitely good stuff if you need some help on the charting side of things. You'll also find a Swing Trading 101 webinar in here that Coach Matt did for us, kind of building off of that, identifying patterns and support and resistance and setting stop losses and target prices and things like that. Another really awesome webinar to help you with your technical analysis. You'll find other webinars in here as well. Coach Grant's Futures 101 webinar, if you're interested in learning more about the futures market. Coach Grant did an awesome job there. You'll also find several STEP system webinars. STEP system is our swing trading system, standing for stop loss, target, entry, and position size. This can give you an idea of kind of what that looks like, and if you're looking to build rules upon that, and of course you should be looking to build rules if you don't have some already, is definitely a really helpful place as well. So you'll find lots of different recorded webinars in there. Back to our courses, we also have an Options 101 course, which is really going to focus more on the contract and how options are priced, why they move the way they move, what are the factors that are moving them, and less so the different strategies. We're not going to talk a ton about bull call spreads and bear put spreads and call ratio back spreads. I'll show you where I can find that too. But it's really going to be about learning the contract itself. And the more we can understand kind of why that option's doing what it's doing, I think the better our option trading is going to be. If you're interested in learning more about either the futures or the Forex markets, also some really good introductions into those markets and the futures and the Forex 101 courses as well. There's also a really good system development course in here that Coach Christian did for us. This one is really awesome. We all know it's important to have trading rules and have clear, repeatable systems and all of that fun stuff, right? We all know that it's important. Not everybody is, defaulted to think like that. This can really help kind of flip that light switch. The thing is, I think for most of us, it really is just a light switch. Once you start thinking like a systems builder, you just kind of can't stop. It's just very, very natural. This course, it's awesome. I've heard tremendous things about it, worked through it. I know how good it is. Definitely would take some time when you're ready to go through that system development course. A lot to learn in there. You will also find our 4 premium systems in here. Pretty much everything with the exception of these premium systems are going to be available to our pro members. What these premium systems are is they're kind of an actual put together system. It's a one-time purchase. The system is yours for life, the course, all of that good stuff. Once a month, we get together with, each of those teams in a mastermind group to go over that. The Tackle 25 is a covered call based system based off of a select group of stocks. The step system, as I brought up earlier, is our swing trading system, stop loss, target, entry, and position size. Cash flow condors, another cash flow system on the Russell 2000 index, and the bear market survival guide, protecting our longer term stuff in bearish market conditions, as well as profiting in bearish market conditions as well. If you want a little more information on any of those premium systems, you can of course click on it. You can hop over into the store. You can send us an email to team@tackletrading.com. You can hop into the clubhouse and ask members of the team that use those systems what their thoughts about them are, and of course encourage you to do so if any of those catch your attention. Not everything has to be a course though. Each week we're going to do some blog content as well. Just another great way to be able to reach and teach, if you will, our team members. Maybe a short read of 5 or 10 minutes, maybe depending on you, whether it's more charting and tales of a technician, taking concepts kind of from the ground up over in the rookie corner, more in the world of options in the option theory blog, hearing from our awesome female team members in the women in trading blog. Definitely worth incorporating these blogs into your weekly routine as well. I mentioned earlier when we were talking about the options that the Options 101 course is really focused on the contract, right? Of course, what are we going to do with that contract? We're going to use it to create strategies, right? And that's what we'll be discussing over in our playbook. You will find the Tackle Trading Playbook over in the Trade Center. Here is the Tackle Trading Playbook. This is where we'll have all of our strategies, the rules for the strategies, all of that good stuff. We break our trading philosophy into 3 areas: Delta, Theta, and Vega. Delta being movement-based trading, probably what you thought of when you first were introduced to trading. Buy it for 27 and sell it for 30 type of stuff, right? That would include buying and selling stock. But in the world of options, buying call and put options, doing protective puts, when we are concerned about our position, debit spreads, bull call and bear put spreads, ratio spreads. So movement-based strategies. I expect this stock to go up or down. I'd like to build a strategy around it. Then we have our theta, or our cash flow. That's going to be selling calls against shares of stock that we own. That's going to be selling naked puts. Hey, I don't own this stock, but I'd like to at this price. Let's cash flow until I can get it to this price. Our credit spreads, I think this is going to stay above or below this price threshold over this next month. Our condor, so cash flow, that's what's so cool about options. We can, kind of trade what's not going to happen in addition to what is going to happen or what we expect to happen. And then there's a little brother of the options world, at least in my opinion, the volatility or the Vega strategies. That's going to be your earnings plays. You know, I expect this stock to make a big move on earnings. No way for me to know which way it's going to move, but I expect based off of its history, it's going to move a lot. Or maybe the market thinks it's going to move a lot, but I don't really think that's true, and I want to kind of bet against the market, if you will. So these type of strategies you'll find here in the Vega playbook. In each of these, we'll have, of course, a video going over, you know, what the strategy is, why we would choose the strategy, what our rules for the strategy are, our risk, our potential reward. If you're using the Thinkorswim platform, there will be kind of a practice one in there to kind of show you how to place the order if you need some help from that perspective. You'll find a downloadable PDF, have a little cheat sheet for those rules if you need them. We will also, you know, kind of let you know on a scale of, you know, 0 to 3 or 0 to -3, you know, where does this fit? So a call option, for example, is a bullish trade. If I buy a call, I need the stock to go up. It's pretty bullish, right? So it's going to fall into, you know, 0 being neutral, 1 being, you know, slightly bullish or slightly bearish if I was -1, 2 maybe moderately, 3 maybe very, right? So we want to match the strategy to our read. If I think the stock, you know, company ABC is going to, you know, have a good run, I probably want to build a trade that reflects that, right? Where maybe you think company ABC is going to kind of just slowly drift to the upside, and maybe you want to do something that maybe fits more into the +1 camp, right? So again, you'll find that playbook in the Trade Center. Hopefully you'll find it to be very, very useful. You'll also in the Trade Center find a link to the trading journals, a link to our trading glossary, a link to the events calendar. We're going to go over the schedule in a minute, but if, you know, as you're getting used to it, you can always find, you know, what's the week or the next month looking like over there in the events calendar itself. If you just go directly into the Trade Center, this will bring you kind of to a what's up at Tackle Trading page. What's our next show? What are our most recent posts? You know, most recent tweet, a little watch list. If you want to build a watch list for yourself, you would just add your ticker symbol right here and then, you know, hit the little plus, or, you know, select it like I did there and just hit the minus if you wanted to get rid of it. Upcoming calendar for the next couple of days. So just some kind of a what's up page at Tackle Trading. You'll also find several links to some trader tools. You'll find a link to tradingjustice.com. You may have already had a chance to check out the Trading Justice podcast that Matt, Mark, and Tim do each week. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't had a chance to do so, you can, of course, find the Trading Justice podcast on any of the, you know, podcast providers, any of the major ones. You can also go directly to tradingjustice.com, which this link will take you to, and catch that and their monthly newsletter over there as well. Definitely worth checking out. A lot of fun, a lot of good, insightful stuff over at tradingjustice.com, and certainly fun to listen to the podcast. If you're like me and haven't figured out podcast providers, it's nice. You can just go directly there and listen to it while you work. So hope you get a chance to check that out. You'll find the Market Skyline, which is kind of a, you know, kind of a one-stop shop for kind of the day that was, where we have all of our charts built up for the different indexes, right? The S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the RUT, you know, the different major commodities, gold, silver, natural gas, you know, oil, the whole 9 yards, the sector ETFs, you know, these are the sector spider ETFs. Hey, you know, what did these different areas do today? You know, nice bounce back day for the energy sector here today, right? Kind of just a real dull day over in real estate. So just kind of a, you know, quick one-stop shop to see kind of what the market did here today. There's also a heat map in here. If you smack that button, it'll take you to a FinViz heat map where we can just take that quick visual look. Hey, what did today look like? This is a free page, so I have to add it or two to click sometimes. Just a visual to kind of see what happened. You know, pretty solid day in the market overall here today. Not a great day over in healthcare though. Healthcare certainly weak here today. Over in real estate, some of our, you know, REITs didn't do all that hot. Insurance kind of had a, you know, insurance brokers kind of had a rough day, whereas, you know, most finance was really green, right? So just kind of a quick visual of what the day looked like to see if there's anything that maybe catches your attention, maybe worth taking a closer look at. There's a link to a news aggregator in here that'll kind of go through several of these, big financial websites, your, Wall Street Journal, your Market Watch, your CNBC. Just kind of grab the headlines, put them all in one place so we can kind of just browse. Hey, maybe there's something that's interesting to me. I want to click on this one. Right? Maybe you think, nah, that's no fun. Maybe none of these catch your eye, right? So, but it does save you a lot of clicks and bouncing around from some of the bigger financial sites. A lot of people do really like to do a little news browsing. There's a link to the economic calendar, another link to our weekly reports, the compounding gains calculator, a chart if you ever need one, another link over to our trading glossary. So lots of fun stuff that you can do in here to go through your daily routine, check in on things. Very helpful page, in my opinion. I use it a lot. That you're going to kind of conclude that first portion, kind of highlighting the things that you can kind of do on your own, whether it's coursework, whether it's daily routine stuff, whatever it might be. Hopefully that gives you a better idea of kind of what our courses and blogs and our trade center and our playbook look like. Maybe before we jump into our schedule, just highlight our clubhouse really quick. It's kind of our own personal social media, for lack of a better way to put it. It's just traders where we can get in, ask questions, bounce ideas with one another. It's kind of like our own personal Facebook. That's kind of how I think about it. Would certainly invite you to join us over there. If you need something, don't be afraid to ask. What I love about it is if you ask a question or if I ask a question, anybody over there can see it, and anybody who might have something to do to help me can easily just throw in their 2 cents. And if I don't know how to help you, maybe I know somebody who can. So it's a great place to have a little bit of a community where we can talk trading with one another. Certainly hope to see you over there. Now let's talk a little bit about our weekly schedule. Each week we're going to be going through the market with members of our team here each day, and some weekly stuff as well. Let's kind of start with our Traders Lounge. Each market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, we'll host our Traders Lounge. We'll be in a room just like this, where we can talk the markets and very specifically answer questions that our team members have. Maybe you're struggling with a particular strategy, or maybe you're want to bounce some ideas on some management techniques on a trade you've got going on, or maybe you need some help on the Thinkorswim platform, or maybe just like to listen in and get some good trade ideas. Who knows why you'll want to be there, but you probably will. You're always welcome to join us in there if the market's open. So is the lounge, 11 a.m. Eastern. Never feel like your question isn't welcome in there. We have people of all sorts here, brand new traders, grizzled veterans, everything in between. We're all on the same page. We all want to see each other succeed. So, don't feel like your question's too basic or too advanced. We're happy to answer all of them. So that's each market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. Then shortly after the lounge, I'll go for an hour. Shortly after the lounge at 12:30 Eastern over on our YouTube channel, we'll do the Tackle Trading Halftime Report, live streamed on YouTube. Just a live look in at the market where we can kind of go through that daily routine. Hey, what's the market doing today? What's the news that's moving the market? How is it impacting our charts? How do the different components of the market look? How does oil look? How does gold look? How does the NASDAQ look? Stocks in the news, interesting trades, stocks that are setting up for potential trades. So just really going through that daily routine. Once again, that is live streamed at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, about the halfway point of the day, over on YouTube. But of course, being on YouTube, once the live stream is over, it will post directly to our channel. So every single market day, we'll be over here at Tackle Trading at 11 Eastern with the lounge, and then hopping over to YouTube at 12:30 Eastern to go through the halftime report. We'll be with you going through the markets each and every day here for sure. Then we have our evening schedule. Our 2 primary evening shows are the Coaches Show and the Cash Flow Club. The Coaches Show we do on Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. That is, live, but it is also recorded. So if you can't make it or need to, to rewatch it or whatever, that's always going to be an option for you. Our Coaches Show is going to allow us to kind of talk a little bit about what's going on in the market today, and then really take a concept, and we all know there's a ton of concepts in trading, right? From indicators like moving averages to earnings plays to particular strategies to retracements and breakouts and its targets and the whole 9 yards. What it really does, it allows us to have a very in-depth discussion. This past week, for example, Coach Greg and Coach Tyler went over setting targets. Very helpful stuff. We try to keep it topical. No two episodes will be quite the same. We'll always be talking a lot of trading over there. It's definitely worth catching. Would love to have you live, but we also understand schedules are schedules. And so if it's more convenient for you to watch at a later time, we certainly understand, and we'll have that recorded and archived in there. So once again, the Coaches Show Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Then the Cash Flow Club on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. That one's a lot more narrowly focused, as kind of the name probably suggests. It's really focused in on those cash flow option strategies, those covered calls, those credit spreads, those condors, those naked puts, building and managing those type of trades. So if you're a cash flow trader, you're probably going to love the Cash Flow Club. I think any trader would love the Coaches Show, whatever kind of trader you are. But if you like cash flow, you'll definitely have a good time over in the Cash Flow Club. Once again, that's Thursday nights, just like the Coaches Show. It's recorded and archived, so you can watch old episodes. If Thursday nights are rough, you can fit it into your routine. On Monday nights, I do this webinar that we're doing right now. You'll find the link to the recording probably tomorrow in that link as well. So if you need to revisit any or all of our conversation, you're also welcome to join me in the future. You don't need to and don't feel obligated to by any stretch of the imagination. But if you feel it would be helpful, you're always welcome to join me. Carlos just asked where would you find the recorded episodes. Yeah, Carlos, if we just go into, say, the Cash Flow Club, same with the Coaches Show, we can, oops, there we go, log me out. Let's see, log me back in, hopefully. There we go. All right, second time's a charm. Now we'll go here into the Cash Flow Club. Wonders of technology, right? So if you just click on the show itself, you will of course find the the webinar if it's about to get going, but you'll find the recordings every week we're doing a new one, so it's kind of pushing the previous weeks down, right? So very easy to find in there. Hopefully that answers that question for you there, Carlos. So yeah, just click on the Coaches Show, click on the Cash Flow Club. We're not recording regularly the Traders Lounge. That's the one show that we don't record because we do so many of them, but we will hit the record button sometimes and do snippets. So, if you click on it, again, if you click on any of these, it'll get you the information to get into it when it's about to kick off, but you'll also find all of the recorded stuff in there as well. All we have to do is, hit the record button. So if we start having a conversation over in the lounge that might be, worth recording and visiting, maybe 6 months from now, or 6 days from now, you'll find those in here as well. So there are going to be a lot of snippets. If your schedule is such that you can never make it to the Traders Lounge and you have a question and need some help, let us know. We'll do our best to accommodate you. It's not a huge deal for us to hit the record button and post it in here. So if your schedule is just like, I can just never make it, at 11, during the week, but I really could use some help on whatever, drop us an email. We'll do our best to help you out on that side of things. So we got Monday onboarding. Next week won't be a lot different than this one. Each week is, our goals are the same, right? Carlos, there is a tutorial on Thinkorswim on the May 24th, 2018 episode of the Cash Flow Club. So that's May 24th, 2018. So it'll be a bit back in the archives now, but it will still be just as useful as it was. Not a lot has changed over there. Coach Tyler did, setting it up, getting your charts and your watch list and all of that stuff set up and ready to rock and roll. So that would be a really good place to start, Carlos, in my opinion. That's where I would start. We also have a full playlist of TOS tutorials over on our YouTube channel. As you kind of start getting a little better feel for it, can maybe find things that are a little more targeted to questions that you're having. But yeah, we do have that webinar. Once again, quickly, that's May 24th, 2018 over in the Cash Flow Club. Yeah, we all know how much fun it is to learn those trading platforms, right? The nice thing is you just have to learn it once and then you got it figured out. So it could be a pain in the neck, getting from point A to point B. On Wednesday nights, we tend to meet up with members of of these different premium system teams. So, you know, on this Wednesday, I'm not sure exactly that this is accurate, but we're meeting up with the Tackle 25. And next Wednesday, we'll be meeting up with the Step System and so on and so forth. So over here at Tackle Trading on Wednesday nights, we're typically meeting in the mastermind groups with these, you know, members of these premium teams. But we're also over on our YouTube channel at 7 p.m. Eastern doing a webinar over there as well. So we'll be doing kind of the mastermind work over here with these different team members at Tackle Trading, and at 7 we'll be live on YouTube with a webinar as well. So last week Coach Tyler did some on naked puts. The week before we had our live stream marathon, and I was able to do some on scanning. So we'll be kind of, you know, doubling up on Wednesday nights, both over on YouTube at 7 and with members of those different teams here on Tackle Trading. On Fridays, what we do is we get together as a team of coaches. Awesome. I'm glad, Carlos. Hopefully it was fun for you. It was we love doing it for sure. Who doesn't like to talk trading? Nobody around here. I know that. So we all love to talk trading. On Fridays, once the market is you know, wrapping up shortly after, you know, it's kind of really is the halftime reports kind of wrapping up for the day. We get together as a team of coaches and, you know, get going to get you our reports. And we'll go into them a little bit more detail. That's what we're doing over here. But on Friday afternoons at about 3 Eastern, about an hour before the market is closing down for the day, Coach Mark does his weekly wrap-up, end-of-week wrap-up, and you'll find that here in the Mind of a Trader. You'll also find it on the events calendar where he can just kind of go through those last-minute decisions as we head into the weekend, can bounce, you know, different trade ideas and charts around with members of the team. And, you know, he always is stealing people's ideas, and that's what I love about trading. I can steal your ideas, and no big deal. I'm happy to do so. So you'll find that in the Mind of a Trader. He does that on Fridays at about 3 Eastern, about an hour before the market kicks off, if you'd like to join him over there. So that's kind of what the regular schedule is going to look like Monday through Friday, or, you know, minus some holidays right here and there, but most Monday through Fridays. You know, each morning we'll be doing the lounge here at Tackle Trading, then hopping over into the YouTube channel at 12:30 for the halftime report. And then Monday nights, the onboarding meeting. On Tuesday nights, the coaches show. On Wednesday nights, the YouTube webinar and meeting with the mastermind teams over here at Tackle. Then on Thursdays, our cash flow club. And then Friday nights are kind of open, you know, for the most part. However, we do have a tremendous team of female traders with us here at Tackle Trading who get together about once a month, and it does tend to be on Fridays. You know, I don't get to go, right? I'm not a woman in trading, and that's okay. I know they get a lot done over there and have some fun. I know the team. But if you're a woman in trading, or if you know a woman in trading, if you might be a dude like me, but, you know, if you have a wife or a sister or a girlfriend, an aunt, a cousin, a daughter who's interested in trading, they are more than welcome to join up with the Women in Trading group. We'll let you know when that is. You find it, you know, we'll make sure that we're letting you know ahead of time, but it'll also be set up over there in the events calendar in the trade center. So that's kind of what the schedule is going to look like. We'll see you around a lot. You know, we do a lot. We want to be here with the team. We want to be going through the markets with you. I always say the market's like a soap opera, and if you're kind of watching every episode, if you tune in every time, sometimes maybe you pay more attention than others, right? Some storylines are maybe more interesting to you than others. But if you're, you know, around the market every day, you're probably going to be more on top of things, right? And trading's one of those things that people either like to talk about trading or they don't, right? You know, if I go talk to my neighbor about trading, they just look at me, you know, like I'm a weirdo. You know, the weird guy that, you know, doesn't leave his house and hasn't for a long time. So, you know, it's important to be able to talk trading, you know, and to be able to share that experience with our members of our team. I'm not sure how to say your names each. I hope I said it right. And if I didn't, I do apologize. Most of the brokers, just ask, you know, looking to trade in a Roth IRA, most of the brokers are going to have that availability to you. So if you're interested, you know, in a TD Ameritrade, a lot of people around here use TD, not saying you should or shouldn't. I can't tell you who to use as a broker, and it wouldn't be my place to do so anyway. But TD Ameritrade's very popular. They have those options. but so do the other brokers, Interactive Brokers, Tastyworks, I'm sure E-Trade, Fidelity, Schwab. I'm pretty sure that that's very, very regular. One reason why a lot of people around tackle trading use the Thinkorswim platform through TD Ameritrade is because the trading platform Toss or Thinkorswim, so TD Ameritrade is kind of the broker, and Toss or Thinkorswim is their trading platform, is a really cool platform with lots of cool stuff you can do on options. So that's why that one is pretty popular around here. That doesn't mean you have to or should or won't or can't use it by any means, but it is pretty popular. We'll be using that in the majority of our shows as well. There's that bonus, I guess, if you can ask questions about people, if you run into it on, to people who actually use the platform. But really, at the end of the day, most of the brokers, get in touch with them, take some time. Most of the brokers are going to have the option for you to open up the Roth or the IRA account if that's what you want to do. Double check, obviously, to make sure, because I can't speak for anybody who's not me and I'm not a broker, but most of them should have that availability. So I think, probably, things like your commissions and the trading platform and stuff like that probably will, maybe be a little bit more important than, will still be very important to you. So I hope that kind of gives you a place to start there. Most of the stuff we do here is kind of coming at it from a swing trading perspective, Carlos. You can always scrunch your time frame down. So, if you decide down the road, I'm not a day trader either most of the time, but if for whatever reason I decide I want to be, or if I want to be one this month or whatever, we can just kind of scrunch our time frame. But for the most part, I would say, broadly speaking, we do kind of take more of a swing trading type of approach here. So that's kind of the default. There are some, day trading classes in the Mind of a Trader that we've done, but really for the most part, we do kind of come at the market, when it comes to trading, primarily as swing traders. I mean, everybody's different. We have plenty of day traders here, but I think probably mostly, if you will, we kind of fall into that swing trading camp. All right, so let's see here. Good questions, folks. I hope that was helpful in answering that for you. Yeah, I would start with the technical analysis course that we talked about, Carlos, and then when you get into those Tackle 100 series and you're maybe watching the webinars on Technical Analysis 101, also hit that Swing Trading 101 webinar. That one might kind of tie some pieces together. As we transition into talking about our weekend reports, they're swing candidates, and so we'll talk, teach a lot of swing trading concepts in our weekend reports as well. So let's see here. Let's kind of, so that's the courses, hopefully, or I'm sorry, the schedule and what it looks like. If we ever do any special events, we'll always make sure that we let you know. For the most part, we are pretty regimented over here. You can expect the lounge every market morning, the halftime report every market afternoon, every Tuesday the coaches show, every Thursday the cash flow club, every Monday the onboarding webinar. So we do have a few special events like our Women in Trading Mastermind group and some other little webinars that we do in the Mind of a Trader, but we are pretty regimented overall. And again, as you're getting to know us, if you need to revisit any of the schedule, the events calendar is right there in the Trade Center itself. All right, and now let's kind of shift gears to that third component of tackle trading, and that's going to be our weekend reports. So as I mentioned earlier, on Friday, as the market's closing, we're prepping for next week. That's kind of, how I at least think about trading. We're kind of if this, then that, right? And we get together, all the coaches get together in a Zoom room after the market's closed. We talk markets, we talk sectors, we talk commodities, we talk Forex, we talk trade setups, right? We really bounce a lot of ideas around in there together. And out of that meeting comes our scouting reports. And that's kind of, when you hear us say scouting reports, it kind of encompasses all of this. So we throw scouting reports around like it's just normal, but I don't know that there's anywhere actually on the website that you'd click that said scouting report. So it kind of encompasses them all. We'll get all of these to you by Saturday afternoon, so you have plenty of time to get through any or all of them before the markets open back up. So we want to make sure that you have some time to do that. And no, Carlos, those ones are not. Those are anything goes. So in those meetings, yeah, it's one of those that it kind of seems like it would be fun, but then at the same time, when we've thought about it before, it's kind of, we want it to be very, very open, right? And we want to be able to say mean things to each other. So, but it is a lot of fun for sure. I love doing it. It's great to be able to sit down and talk with traders for sure. Starting with the newsletter. And this is where, honestly, in my opinion, we all should start. It might not be where we want to. Usually I'm more interested in the setups than the look ahead to next week. And I think most of us are, if we're being honest, but that doesn't mean that's where I should start. I should start at the newsletter too. So, and I do. The newsletter is a look ahead to next week in the market. If you've already worked through the 7-step guide to trading, the first step is starting at the top of the market. And that's exactly what we're doing here in the newsletter. Looking ahead to the upcoming week. Again, we're kind of swing traders, right? So, I mean, I don't really care what the market's doing in December. I care what it's doing over the next, week, 2 weeks, right? So we can kind of let what are the storylines that are moving the market right now? What's kind of on the market's mind? What's, how is it impacting? Is it a volatile market, a boring market? What are the stories moving it? The economic calendar for the upcoming week. Are there any, reports coming out that might, be able to move the market a little bit one way or the other? Of course, we'll have a video going over this stuff in all of these for you. Where's the S&P 500? How are we looking at it, right? Right now, the S&P's, knocking on the door, going into the week, a resistance breaking through here today, right? So where's the S&P 500? If you need the ETFs that track the indexes, they'll be in here as well. DIA tracks the Dow Jones, QQQ tracks the NASDAQ, IWM tracks the Russell, and SPY, of course, tracks the S&P 500. If you're not familiar with these, they're just index ETFs, so they're designed to track that index. So if I just wanted to buy into the NASDAQ, that's what I wanted to trade, I could just trade the Qs, right? I can trade these with stock, I can trade them with options. So they allow us to trade the actual index through the ETF market if we want to do so. You'll find Coach Gino's Arkham High Low that kind of looks at the internals of the market to see, are we making new highs, or more stocks making new highs, or more stocks making new lows, to help us get a better idea of the overall, strength of the market. The seasonality chart, what typically happens this time of year. We don't want to over analyze it, right? Because, it's historical, but it's not bad information to know, right? How things tend to operate, what sectors tend to be the strongest, this month, which sectors tend to be a little weaker this month. Again, not bad information to have. Don't want to trade solely off of it, right? But certainly good to have in my back pocket. The upcoming earnings calendar for the week, our rankings for the different sectors, right? What do we think is the strongest or the weakest, and what's moving the right or the wrong direction, right? So, lately technology and discretionary have been, kind of the strongest areas in our opinion. Energy, we're kind of neutral on. It's kind of been in a range. So kind of let you know how we're seeing these different areas. We'll be, upgrading and or downgrading, each week, just based off of what we're seeing on the stocks in these different areas, kind of in line with what we saw in the playbook. Kind of let you know, are we neutral in this area? Are we lean and bearish or lean and bullish? Are we, pretty bullish, right? Or are we super bullish, right? I'm never a +3 on a whole market personally, but that's just me. So you can kind of get an idea of where our head's at in these different areas. Always helpful to have other traders' perspectives. I'm sure that none of us here are always going to agree about everything, and I think that's fair and reasonable. But I think, if we can share our ideas, I think it can really help provide some clarity. There are the ETFs that track these sectors. So these are called the sector spiders. If you're unfamiliar with them, what they'll do is they'll go into the S&P 500 and pull out stocks just in that area. So XLY, for example, is the discretionary sector. XLK is the technology sector. XLE is the energy sector, and so on and so forth, right? They go into the S&P and they'll pull out just the stocks in that area and put those stocks into a portfolio, so we can kind of get an isolated look at this area. These are ETFs, so they're tradable. We can, trade shares. We can trade options on them if we like to do so. Personally, I encourage people to put them in their watch list, even if they never want to trade them, because it's a very practical way to stay on top of how the different sectors are doing, both how they do today, how they do it overall. Nothing that energy did today really changed my opinion, because it's been real choppy and back and forthy over the last little while. Now, maybe you disagree with me, right? Maybe that's what you've been looking for, right? So it is a very practical way, in my opinion, to stay on top of the sectors. And as a bonus, if I decide I want to trade the ETF, I prefer to go look for stocks in that area myself, but the option doesn't hurt, right? If I decide I just want to trade the sector as a whole, this does present me that opportunity. So while you don't have to put those in your watch list, I think it's very, very good use of time. We'll have a pre-built stock scanner in here as well. So maybe you like what you saw out of a particular area. Yeah, man, that discretionary, sector or staples are really cooking right now. If you go, just click on that, it'll look for a pre-built scan. These are what I call trader-friendly stocks, meaning they've got good liquidity, they're optionable, they tend to have good pricing on their options. Obviously, you'd have to double check. You should always do that. But generally speaking, if there's something I find in here that I want to add, to set up a trade on tomorrow, I'm probably going to be able to do it. These are trader-friendly stocks. But what we can do is we can just kind of browse through and see if anything catches your eye. There's the ETF, there's Walmart, there's Tyson Foods, there's Coors, there's Cisco. And yeah, could I make a trade off of this little tiny chart? I certainly could not. I don't know if you could, but probably not either. So it doesn't make you a bad person, but it can kind of give us an idea of, what, PM, Philip Morris here. Let's click on them. And we can kind of see they've been kind of triangling up, broke out of kind of been, looks like they've been smacking their head at $80, right? 80 and drop, 80 and drop, 80 and drop. Maybe that's a breakout candidate. Maybe it's worth going and putting it into my charting platform, because again, I couldn't make a trade off this. It's a little easier to see to my poor eyes, but I still couldn't make a trade off of it. But I can now say, yeah, I would like to take a closer look. Maybe there is something here. Again, you don't have to, just using this as an example, of course, but pretty helpful if you want to do just some quick scanning. Don't want to do some pre-built stuff, to have that kind of go-to list of things that you can at least browse through. So that will be in there as well. So that's the newsletter. Always a lot of fun. Coach Marquise typically does that for us, does an awesome job as well, getting the team prepared for kind of the storylines leading into the upcoming week. Beyond the newsletter itself, we have the stock options, commodity and Forex report. Coach Cody typically does the Forex report for us, kind of highlighting, where these different currency pairs are, any big news events that are coming up to keep an eye out for, stuff like that. If you're a Forex trader, you'll probably really like it. If you're not a Forex trader, still some stuff you can learn in there for sure. Coach Mark typically does the commodity report for us, talking not just the technicals, but the fundamentals of gold and copper and oil and nat gas and all of that fun stuff in his commodity report. Our stock and options report are built very close to one another. They're going to lean towards what their names would suggest, right? Can be some crossover though. So I was hop into the stock report. It's going to be really focusing on things from a stock perspective. Like I said earlier, Carlos, kind of what we're doing is we're bringing, together, putting together a watch list coming into the upcoming week, right, for some potential trades, for some potential swing trade opportunities. We'll always, no matter how we feel about the market, we'll always have a bullish and a bearish watch list. Because you never know if when it's going to change, right? So bears, of course, as everybody here probably knows, bears have been tough to work with lately. But one of these days, the market will be bearish, right? I'll trade it bullish until it's not bullish anymore. But that doesn't mean I don't need to have some candidates, because maybe tomorrow, maybe today is the peak. I don't think there's any great reason to believe that, but I don't know the future, right? So we'll always have some trade ideas in here. We'll have a video going over the setups and kind of why is this here? Why is A here? Well, you can probably kind of see that A here is kind of a breakout candidate. Got overhead resistance, right below that $100 mark. Maybe it'll never break that resistance level, right? But if it does, that might be a bullish signal. Why was Baba here? Same reason, right? So resistance and dropped, ran into resistance on Friday. So we can kind of share these candidates with you and kind of talk you through kind of what we're seeing, why we like them technically over in the video. We'll also use that as an opportunity to help teach. You know, this week Greg kind of went over working with them as time goes on, right? Because on a breakout trade, like, you know, like our friends at A, you know, this, you know, might take 2 more weeks before it breaks that resistance. It's not easy to break resistance. It may never happen. It may happen tomorrow, right? But now, you know, I'm just probably gonna have to check back, right? It either will or it won't tomorrow, right? But on retracement trades, you know, we might need to change our, you know, potential entries and targets and stop losses based off of how the stock moves early in the week, right? We might want to disqualify it if it breaks support, you know, on Monday morning, because that might happen, right? So gets that, you know, gives us an opportunity to do a little teaching, whether it's on, you know, entries or stop losses or targets or maintaining, you know, the watch list, all sorts of fun stuff. So it gives us an opportunity not just to share our watch list, but to hopefully give you some ideas to help make you a better trader as well. It is focused, the stock report is focused on stocks. So if you are in the stock report, it really is coming at it from a stock perspective. Now, if you're an option trader and prefer to trade options, you can always go double check the option liquidity. There are going to be, certainly there are going to be times where you'd be comfortable with the options on something in this stock report. Sometimes the options are going to be very illiquid though. The stock will always be liquid, but the options, you know, for whatever reason aren't. And if I wouldn't trade the options, then none of the other coaches would. And if any of us wouldn't trade the options, then we're not going to put it on the options report. So kind of the rule of thumb is if you want to trade something in the stock report with options, do your due diligence, get over and check that option chain, make sure the liquidity is there. If you're an option trader, you've probably had the misfortune of being in an illiquid option once or twice, and it's not any fun. If you haven't, I'm glad. Don't do it. It's not fun. So on the other side of things, over in the option report, really coming at it from an option perspective, but of course I could always trade stock on anything in the option report, right? So option reports can be built very similar in our watch list, but we'll, you know, maybe if there's a particular strategy, we might highlight that strategy on one of the setups or things like that. But we do want to make sure we give you some trade ideas each and every week. Ultimately, you know, you may use all of them, you may use none of them. Probably most likely you'll use some of them, right? Some of them you'll like, some of them you won't. And you don't have to explain to me why you don't want to put A in your watch list. It's your watch list. It's your money. You don't have to explain to me anything about what you're doing with your money. It's not about the ones you don't want to add to your watch list. It's about the ones that you do want to add to your watch list. A couple of things that you can do in here on this software. If you are interested in, there's a couple of really cool tools in here. This one right here is your trend line tool. So if you just left click that, you can either, you know, draw, I know that's not really a helpful trend line, but you can draw an actual trend line, or you can, you know, draw a horizontal line, right? So in the case here, this one's a lot more helpful in my opinion, at least, you know, than the first one I drew, because we're kind of breaking through a little bit of a top. So your trend line tool is in here. Probably the coolest thing in here is this one right here, where we can build out longer short positions, right? You can also, if you hold your left mouse button right down here, you can up and down, we'll scrunch it or make it bigger like that. So you can kind of see it a little bit bigger. If you kind of scroll your mouse wheel in the chart, it'll do what I'm doing right here. So you can kind of build it. Sometimes it'll be easier to see than others. But say we wanted to, you know, at least prep a long trade on Baker Hughes here out of the stock report, go into the long position, and let's say I want to set my order up to get me in just above today's high. I'm not going to be too specific here. There we go. And that's where my entry would be. And I've got a target in mind of $90, right? And just using this as an example, you may like it, you may not. Then we can just kind of scroll this up, say, well, I'd like to put my stop loss below today's low. if I did that, if this was a trade I put together going into tomorrow, what's this going to look like, right? Well, I'm risking $1 to get $2.03. So my risk to reward is 2 to 1 or better, which is, for most of us, and certainly for me, a rule. I want to have at least if I'm risking $1, I want to have expectations of being able to get 2 out of it, right? Maybe when you were evaluating it, you prefer to put your stop loss below this base and you say, you know what, it's just not going to work for me. Or maybe you've got a $92 target, right? Not like I'm my target's the only target there's going to be. So you can really build out the trade, see if it's something worth taking, right? Something worth going a little bit further. Obviously, you can do just the opposite on the short side as well. This saves you a lot of time because you don't have to do the math. You can quickly say, put my stop here, I'll get my entry there. What does that trade look like? Okay, now I can proceed. So it's a very helpful little tool for sure. You can change your time frame. This drop down right here, it will change it if you want to look at an hourly time frame to see if maybe you could tighten up your stop loss a little bit, go below some intraday support, right? That might be something a trader would like to do. We can go into a weekly time frame. As swing traders, yeah, we're primarily focused on the daily chart, but these other time frames are certainly helpful for us. So your time frame is in here. If you prefer bar charts for whatever reason, you can just, that's right there. I'm not sure, that's not very popular these days, but some people might still like it. This little FX thing right here is where you can add some indicators. So if you wanted to add an indicator, say the average true range to this, you just add it there, and then you can kind of have the average true range in there as well. So, I don't know how much time you'll spend in here. You'll probably at least, spend some time over the weekend when you're going through the reports, right? And then what you'll probably realistically do is take the candidates that you find attractive, put them into your own personal watch list. You may come here every day, do a quick browse. You might just browse over in your watch list. But I do like to show people a couple of these tricks here because at least you start here, right? When you're going through the report, and it's nice to be able to kind of do this a little bit. Saves me a ton of time. That tool right there, I can't imagine how much time it saved me over the years. So I'm not particularly fast when it comes to math. So hopefully that kind of explains our reports. Again, you can expect these by Saturday afternoon. If you are just new and just starting out or just need some ideas, one thing I always encourage new traders to do is set aside 15 minutes at the end of the trading day, whether it's right after the market closes or right before you go to bed. Just whenever you kind of go through your process, right? Whatever works for you, set aside 15 minutes, set a timer, and come over to the stock report and just see if there's something to set a virtual trade up on, right? Could I set up a virtual trade on A? Yeah, absolutely. Could I set up a virtual trade on AES? Could I jump in on BABA? Could I set up a virtual trade, right? And, if you like the first one, go set up a virtual trade. Don't worry if you don't get through the whole list. I don't expect you to, right? You probably don't start fast, but you get fast. But this will help get your routine going so you're getting some legitimate practice every day. One of the fun things is for new traders is they spend so much time doing things like figuring out software, taking courses like Technical Analysis 101, watching videos and stuff like that. It's the nature of the beast. You should do that. But it doesn't leave a lot of time for practice, right? So if we can kind of set aside, hey, 15 minutes, I'm coming to the same group of stocks every day. I'm getting some virtual trades. I'm seeing the good. I'm seeing the bad, maybe even seeing some virtual ugly. I'm getting some real experience. I'm getting a good routine. And I'm getting faster and faster and faster. I think you'll find that you can get a lot done. And then as time goes on, and you can add 5 more minutes and 10 more minutes and 30 more minutes, whatever your time frame might be. Carlos, I think you're going to have to move them by hand over to toss. If there is a way to do it, I do not know what that way is. As far as I know, you would have to just move the candidates that you wanted over by hand. So I don't think so. Never quote me 100% on technology because I'm definitely not the most tech savvy dude, but I don't believe there is a way to move them directly over there. But it should be a pretty easy move, to just kind of just open this one up and just throw with the ones that you like. But I like how you're thinking there. It's funny, traders, the way we trade is we're always thinking, if this happens, then I might buy or sell, right? But a lot of times it hasn't happened. So even on Booz Allen, in our example, the only way I'm going to get in is if it goes above today's high. Using this example, right, that may not happen tomorrow, right? And then I kind of forget about it. And then 2 weeks later, I look at it and say, wasn't I looking, didn't I have an order in on Booz Allen a couple weeks ago? You know, learning how to watch our watch list, as silly as it sounds, is important for sure. So hopefully that gives you some ideas, practical ideas to get some practice, if nothing else. Sure, hopefully you can use that in your live routine if you're already doing it, or when you get to it as well. A couple of other things. We're here for you. You know, we'll be here with you every day. All right. So never feel like you can't, reach out for some help. If you need something, if you're looking for something, hop into that lounge, hop over to the clubhouse, send an email to us at team@tackletrading.com. Hit us up when we're on YouTube. There's lots of ways to reach out, and always feel welcome to. That's what we're here for. We want to see everybody succeed in the market. We're active on all of the different social media platforms. We talked a lot about YouTube for our live stuff, but there's a lot of content over on YouTube. As I brought up earlier, there's a whole playlist on Thinkorswim tutorials, a lot of how-tos and what are type of videos, obviously our live stream. So a lot over there to keep you busy. If you're ever looking for more stuff to watch, we've got it over on our YouTube channel, and we'll always be doing more. We're active on, on the LinkedIn, on the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So if you're using any of these platforms, certainly invite you to join us. If you're a Twitter user, I'll probably see you. I do the Twitter thing. I do a lot of the Twitter for tackle trading, and I obviously have my own as well. I like Twitter. It's a good way to talk, trading, in my opinion. I don't like Facebook. I don't use Facebook, right? That's okay. If you use Facebook, I'm not judging you. To each their own. I probably won't see you there, but it's not about me, right? It's about being able to connect with other traders. So if you're using any of these platforms, or you decide you want to, certainly extend the invitation for you to join us on any of them. Hopefully I'll see you over on Twitter. Always fun to see the team over on Twitter. It's a great way to kind of stay in touch with one another during the busy days and weeks. So let's see real quick, just highlight this search function. So this little magnifying glass here will bring up the search. So if you're ever looking for something like, I'm going to type in Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim's a tough one because sometimes it's Thinkorswim and sometimes it's TOS, right? So I didn't cheat this one. Let's see what we got here. There we go. So I just threw in Thinkorswim, Carlos. We got a basic tutorial. This is a few years old, but basic tutorial, adding probability cones, setting alerts, adding ATRs. So just like that, I found a lot on Thinkorswim, right? If I were looking for a particular strategy, say a covered call. Let's see if I can actually type that there. Find lots on covered calls because we're big cash flow traders here as a general rule. Blogs on covered calls, Traders Lounge snippets on covered calls, managing covered calls that are in the money, protecting them with pullbacks with covered calls, all sorts of fun stuff. So very quickly, a quick search. Never hesitate to reach out to us, but a quick search, you'd be surprised how often can find something for you. So, and it's usually the fastest way to do it because, you're in complete control over that. There is a couple things that we did back in February, right around Valentine's Day each. We did a portfolio design series in both the coaches show and in the cash flow club. It was, I believe, one of them fell on Valentine's Day. They'll be right in there. It'll just be called portfolio design. So it'd be approximately, I think it's February 12th in the coaches show and February 14th in the cash flow club that you'll find that. If those dates are off, they're really, really close. So it'll be like plus or minus 2 days. So it'll be that particular week. So that might be a really good place to start on that side of things. So hopefully that gives you some help over there. But yeah, we did a two-parter in there on that exact thing, portfolio design. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, well, that concludes, I believe, everything I wanted to take you through. So if you have any final questions, feel free to ask. It was awesome. I appreciate your time tonight. Hopefully it was helpful in getting to know us a little bit better and kind of where things are and all of that fun stuff. I'm glad to have you here. I think I could probably speak for the whole community. That's what I love so much about tackle trading is it's a community of traders. No one can ever make my trades for me, but I'm pretty sure if you ever find a good trade setup, you're happy to share it with me. I know if I ever find a good, at least something I think is a good setup, I know I'm happy to share it with you. I know if you have a question that I can help you with, I'm happy to do so. I'm sure you feel the same way. You know, having a community around you, no one can do your trading for you, but we can certainly work these markets together. So we'll see each other again. This certainly won't be goodbye. We're around a lot. I'm around a lot, whether it's in over on Twitter or over on YouTube or in one of our other shows or over in the clubhouse or, you know, I don't know where I'll see you, but I'd be very surprised if we don't run into each other again in the very near future. You can always reach out to any of us here, and that certainly goes for me. Never hesitate. If you need something, holler at us. We're here to help. We want to see everybody succeed. That's what, that's what's so cool about it. Everybody can help each other out. That the market's wonderful that way, right? You helping me helping you doesn't hurt anybody. So we're not competing with one another. We're on the same team. So welcome to Tackle Trading. Thank you for your time tonight. It was a pleasure spending this hour with you. Get out of here and go enjoy whatever is left of your afternoon or your evening. Have a great week, both in and out of the market. And I will look forward to seeing each and every one of you somewhere, probably in the really near future. So thanks again, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Bye now.